Let's do this!
Raid World War II never stood a chance. It is an under-budgeted, undercooked game with good art, but that was about it. Considering how broken the game was, my initial video is pretty fair to it. It was like 50% of the stuff that was bad about the game. But with the power of friendship, unpaid labor and piss, the game is getting as close to a second chance as it's ever going to get. Update 21 made the game playable with its mountains of optimizations, fixes and all that jazz, but the methods of which you were forced to play stayed the same. The game was hostile to any and all experimentation. The skill trees was just horrible. It just was. The progression was annoying, keeping everyone from getting max stats for a particular skill until you hit level 40, and sometimes you never got a max skill depending on the class. That all changed now. The new skill system is something that the game should have had at the start, a system that affords some min-maxing and mixing, a system that isn't annoying. The game is migrated to a pick 10 system for skills and it is around 373% better than what we had. Most of my issues with the previous iteration simply don't exist for this one. This system fixes multiple issues, one of which was handicapping player progression. Now, you don't need to hit level 40 to get max skills. If you want cluster grenades, you can just fucking get it, and let me tell you, it feels great. When you hit level 20, you unlock most of your slots to mix and match things for your liking, and level 20 is like quarter of the XP required to reach max level. An inability to truly mix and match depending on the map or your mood was also annoying. Now, it isn't. You can mix and match as you see fit. The map has bag moving, pick bag moving skills, want more mobility, have at it. Wanna make gunplay snappier, go ahead. You wanna goof around and try absolutely brain dead strategies, go ahead. Need more ammo or healing, pick something. One of my favorite things about the skills is that nearly every skill introduces a new mechanic that isn't just a stat boost. There are no obvious damage skills to pick, so you're not forced to pick damage skills to use the guns you want. The gunplay improvements is something I'm gonna get to later. Gold is now used for buying skills outright instead of respecking. What skill you buy, you keep him across characters if it's a shared one. They even made scope rifles usable with this skill. It's just fantastic. Some Warcry effects are separated into their own things called boosts, so you don't need to play Assault to heal the team. You don't need to play Insurgent to make the team go faster. You don't need a demo to make the team tanker, and you don't need a recon to deal more damage as a team. Trying to compare how the game worked versus how it works now, frankly, is impossible. You actually have options that are accessible at any given time after some grind. Let me give you an example. I wanted to move bags in the train wreck map, so I dropped my movement skills in favor of bags. But oh no, I have no mobility skills for the rest of the map, so it's just gonna slow things down. So I dropped the box of chocolates boost in favor of sprinter. Wow, actually having choices. And if I want to revert any changes I made to my build, I can simply click few times. Compare this to the previous iteration. If you wanted to pick bag moving skills, you had to drop 300 gold to respec and click stuff 140 times to get to that particular build. If you wanted to change guns, you had to pick damage skills for the gun class you want to swap, or you wouldn't get good damage and make those guns usable. So, respec again, fucko. None of this shit exists here. You may have realized that I'm using all sorts of guns in this video compared to the previous one where I mostly use M14 double barrel and bolt actions. In the previous video, I used those particular guns because I either fully upgraded them so they were useful, or they didn't need any upgrades or skills to be usable. Now I'm using all sorts of guns because I fucking can now. It's just liberating. Before I talk about the combat changes, I want to talk about the skill system and give you a crash course for it. It is a pick 10 system. One slot is reserved for Warcries, one for boosts, which are Warcry sports with distinct benefits, and the other 8 is used for talents. Talents are mostly shared between classes, but each class also has unique talents for themselves that fits the class in some way. For example, steady aim reduces scope sway and flinching, making scope rifles actually usable for recon. And Insurgent's agile and tough customer, which gives class more potential for aggression. Assault has Rally, which is like temporary health system for frontline fighting, and Demo can do this. Every class has few unique talents and I don't want to spoil it. You keep any talent and boost you buy across characters, so gold you spent isn't just a sinkhole to respec. XP you gain after a mission is distributed equally to skills you equip, and after doing 4 or 5 missions, you can max those out. Yes, you can have a maxed out Warcry at level 10 to really push your effectiveness in higher difficulties. Combat has also changed. You may remember me saying there were no damage skills for guns anymore. At first this worried me since damage skills were an outright necessity for most guns previously. Upon trying it out though, I don't miss these skills at all. Both enemy health and weapon damage is adjusted to not need those anymore. Most guns deal less damage now, actually, numerically speaking, but that doesn't matter. If you shoot an enemy with a gun enough times, they die instead of surviving 12 headshots if you don't pick a gun that has damage skills you lock yourself into its skills. Moreover, dynamic crosshair is a thing, letting you judge the spread more accurately. On top of that, the dogshit sustained fire bloom's effects are lessened. Not removed, but lessened enough that the 10-meter engagement aren't a dice shot out of the devil's asshole. SMGs suffered badly from this, but now they're actually quite nice. You still won't be hitting much past mid-range unless the hidden auto-hit system kicks in, but you won't be fighting the gun the same way to score some kills. SMGs before this update was usable. If you spent an eternity grinding hipfire kills for accuracy and kills for damage on top of getting passive damage skills, which not every class has, mind you. But now, Raid understands that a gun is a gun and guns are dangerous. I used way more guns in this update than I ever before. Shotgun damage is now per pellet, which I was skeptical as well, but it is done rather well. They are probably a bit too strong, but I'm not gonna complain about kick-ass shotguns. Aiming down sights increases accuracy on every gun, which was a thing before, but I find actual value in it more since I actually get to use a bigger pool of guns afforded by these updates changes. Sidearms are also more useful since total ammo reduction on most guns and sidearm damage didn't get scaled back like the most primaries, so double barrel, Tokarev and others can actually body enemies reliably. They are no longer useless as I felt like they were before. However, all these changes came with a downside. Damage upgrades for guns scale very highly, but sadly, this awful gun challenge system is out of the scope of this update. Gun challenges are written into save files and changing them will reset everyone's gun progression or not take effect at all, which is unnecessary considering they have plans to completely get rid of this system in the future. If it was possible to do it cleanly though, getting rid of damage upgrades beyond tier 2 would have been fine for now. On top of that, there is a new passive critical health system to go with the armor gating and grace period. If you go below 25% of your health, you will regenerate it up to that quarter line. This means you can at least move around between cover points on low health instead of getting pinned down. Another combat change is Warcry progress getting reduced if you go down, instead of losing all of it. I'm indifferent to the latter change, but the critical health system is rather nice. There are other miscellaneous changes bundled with this update. In-game HUD got some touch-ups with fancy new animations. New objective reminder actually has animations instead of fading in and out. Health loss and health gain is animated as well, not to mention new lick-locking animations. Not much to say aside from really well done. Changes are stylish and they look good. There's a new fuse cutting minigame to shorten bomb timer objectives, which is nice. New carry system removes all the annoyance when carrying bags combined with carry skills. Carrying loot can still disable jump, but you can use mantling system to get up smaller ledges or use it to go over windows without crouch jumping. New textures on maps looks better than what we had. New camp music is a breath of fresh air, and there's a new modding tool that is coming out, an official one. Stuff that's in there is good, and what they didn't touch was out of the scope of this update. What is rather nice about this update is that how much of the core gameplay beats are preserved. When I play Raid, My game plan usually revolves around trapping objectives, finding cover spots, and keeping a mental image of where the supplies are, or trying an aggressive gameplay that might let me get away with more healing and ammo. It is all still here, just less annoying to get into. Now, what I want to focus on is what it took for this update to come. This update is made mostly by 3 unhinged individuals, modders. These adults with lives and jobs decided to spend nearly 2 years of their lives after their work hours to work on a game no one gave 2 shits about, for hours, days, weeks and months on end. All without any pay. There was no money involved with their decision, yet they did work on the game. When I made the unpaid labor joke in the first 30 seconds, I meant it. Great World War II is a failed game that never had any chance. Working on it is just a money sink for the actual studio. Raid doesn't pay the bills and it never will be, so working on it for free was the only way for this game to have any chance. The passion behind their work is apparent by the quality of their output. They designed an entirely new system, implemented it, solved like billion bugs, crashes over the course of 2 years, and here it is. The game is finally getting to a place that is genuinely nice to play without too many fundamental issues. Yes, they worked on the game for free, but free labor is the only thing that allows this update to be what it is. So when I got a Discord message asking me to hop onto beta, how am I supposed to say no to it? They spent 2 years of their lives spending their money to get tools, retool their stuff, design new systems out of scratch, implement them, test them, fix them, so many bugs, deploy the game, and the list just goes on. What's even more impressive is that all of it is genuinely competent work. In these sad and boring times where all new games being mediocre, palatable schlop, 3 people made something that is this competent out of passion. Yes, I spent like 30 fucking hours with the beta, so what? What I contributed is basically nothing. There are testers that spend more time with the beta than I did. There are translators to localize all the new stuff. There's the mod team, the heavy hitters. There are also people that assist in specific niche stuff. Do you have any idea how much work is put into this and how many people are involved, big and small, just so this game can get to where it can be? Admittedly, there are many people that work on this thing, but everyone that did it for free, without expecting anything in return. I'm saying all of this because something like this never happens in an official capacity, and I urge everyone that got this far to check out the work of passionate, competent people that have been in the payday modding scene for years. This is what the payday modding community can achieve. Come and bask in its glory. I think it's kind of funny that the new camp music is made by the same guy who did Pain World Bank. I know a few people that get PTSD from that map doing it in DSOD. Also, on the side note, I'm still paying student loans, so feel free to share the video around and, type anything that bothers you in the comments. So yeah, see you around, folks. Have a nice one.